Doomsday Clock issue 10 sees Nathaniel Dusk at the mercy of one of his police friends and Joyce Guilio, the love of his life, who turned on him when he discovered she was trying to take over her mob boss husband's business. Nathaniel asks if she ever loved him, but then Carver Coleman forgets his line, and the director calls cut on the scene for the 13th time that day. John has been watching Carver's life and how over the course of a few months he is soon found murdered, but he feels nothing from this. On June 8th, 1954, Carver knows he needs to finish the scene and hours later drowns his sorrows in the bar, where his greedy mother meets him. He isn't interested in what his mother has to say and leaves, as 4 hours prior, he finally gets the entire movie scene done. John wonders if nothing lasts forever, as on November 2nd, 1985, he enters the multiverse, heading to April 18th, 1938, where he is at the dawn of Superman's world for some unknown reason, and the first person he meets is Carver Coleman. John looks over Carver's early career, and as a policeman comes to rile the now homeless man from the streets, Dr. Manhattan arrives, killing the police. Carver's first instinct is to check if the cops are still alive, which John notices, meaning this world is different, and wonders why he was drawn to this particular world. He sees himself on Mars later on, where John currently stops Hal Jordan from contacting the Green Lantern Corps, saying he needs all of the superhumans incapacitated and all will become clear soon. Carver meets John and the two go to a diner where John finds he cannot look into the future, but soon focusing on Carver he can see what is to become of the famous actor in 1 year. Carver thinks John is his guardian angel, as John's powers begin to adjust to the universe, and he sees Carver further into the future until 1955, 1 year after Carver's death, where he sits alone in the diner. John tells Carver that in 8 months he will be cast in the role of his life, but soon becomes distracted as he hears news of a man in Metropolis lifting a car. John immediately leaves as news of Superman travels across America. Arriving in Metropolis, he finds the gangster's car Superman wrecks, but soon the car, the crowd, and Superman disappear from this world, since they never were there, and the world has changed. John knows this is all part of what the heroes of this Earth call the Multiverse, and the Prime Earth is at its center, and the world was introduced to Superman in 1938, and with him came the birth of the Superhumans, as in 1940, Alan Scott grabs the Green Lantern, Jay Garrick becomes the Flash, Carter Hall learns about his life, Al Pratt begins his training, Kent Nelson discovers a golden helmet, Wesley Dodds dons a gas mask, Jim Corrigan is killed, and Rex Tyler invents a strength pill. A year later, the Justice Society of America is formed, and they talk about needing Superman in their group thanks to all the good he does, and they are currently waiting for him to arrive. The heroes all take their inspiration from him as Johnny Thunder sets up for a photo. Johnny summons his Thunderbolt to get Superman, but the timeline is reset, so Superman is never made a member of the JSA, and none of the heroes ever hear of him. In 1948, John meets with Carver, who he asks if he has ever heard of Superman, but the actor has not. John leaves, heading for the Kent farm, where he watches Kal-El's rocket touch down and Jonathan and Martha Kent find him, but then his arrival is shifted forward to 1986, and then again shifted forward, and then again shifted forward. After learning of what he is, Clark runs into the cornfields, and John continues to watch as Pa Kent finds him, telling the confused Clark that he is his son. Jumping again, John watches the Kents pass away in 1956, where Pa Kent's dying words to Clark tell him to use his powers for good and use them for the betterment of law and order. Again in 1986, the Kents are alive and help Clark make his costume. Then years later, Pa Kent dies again in the arms of his son. John thinks he is misinterpreting things and looks to the future, following Superman's trial of influence, finding that even thousands of years from then, the Legion of Superheroes are still influenced by Superman, as Superboy is told of his mission by the Legion. John realizes that the universe is much more than it appears, and it's all connected to Superman, but he doesn't know why, since forces like Anti-Monitor have shifted Superman's timeline before and target the hope that he embodies in an effort to redefine him. Growing curious, John reshapes the universe again, erasing Superman's past, Alan Scott, and other things to shift the universe, which he learns isn't part of the multiverse as others believe, but stands apart as a metaverse in a constant state of change. Changing Superman's origin again, he kills the Kents in a car crash when Clark is a teenager, and without his parents' guidance, Clark becomes more distant from humanity, and John begins to understand him better and relate to him more. So much so, changing things becomes intoxicating to him, which when he changes the metaverse, begins garnering the attention of others, like Wally West, who knows what Manhattan did. Because of this, he resets the metaverse, but it's too late as it's turned against him, and he sees Superman coming to destroy him, or maybe he destroys the metaverse. Carver is there also, asking if John is okay, but Manhattan doesn't know. He does know, however, that Carver will be killed in seconds by his mother, and the killing is never solved, thanks to the letter that he had detailing everything being burned. In the present, John knows he used Carver to help him find balance in the metaverse, only to see his mother kill him. As he travels through all of the death and destruction he has seen in his world and this one, he becomes a being of inaction. As the man of action, Superman awakens from his coma, setting them both on a collision course with one another, as Dr. Manhattan knows that in this universe of hope, he has become a villain. Doomsday Clock issue 10 was another amazing issue in this painfully delayed series. I absolutely loved and was quite surprised at how much this issue revealed on what Manhattan did to the DC universe and how it all revolves around Superman and his bright light of hope. Something that as a Superman fan, I've been kind of saying for years, that the universe revolves around him since he is the first of the superheroes. The reasoning for Manhattan's meddling was great, and I do so love seeing every origin of Superman and the DC universe get its moment to shine. One piece I really liked was John putting forward the theory that maybe Wally West is some physical embodiment of the metaverse fighting back against Manhattan, which is something that is insanely cool and is a really cool concept. But we know, thanks to Heroes in Crisis and how DC editorial have been treating Wally as of late, that nothing will actually ever happen with that, which is a damn shame. I'm looking forward to reading the final 2 issues whenever they decide to release them between now and the heat death of the universe. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my newest video. If you enjoyed it, you might also like to check out my other reviews here on my channel. You can also follow me on various social media platforms like Twitter by searching Matt_FOS, or even join the Comic Multiverse Discord server and chat with other comic book fans, including myself and Joel from Cape Joel. Want cheap comics and trades? Head over to the book depository with the link in the description to get the cheapest trades and comics around, along with free shipping anywhere in the world. Until next time, this has been Matt of the Fortress of Solitude. Thank you so much for watching.